All right. Hey, everybody. I'm not sure if y'all can hear us yet. I'm actually bringing up the live stream now to see. And we're live. All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Misfit Corner Scams. This is the Arsenal's Andrew speaking, and we are live streaming. And this time, unlike last week, we are really live. Hope you guys got a kick out of the video that I shared last week. I set it as premiere. That was the first time I did that, in which it played like a live stream and gave people the opportunity to comment. And I did not know that I was going to have internet at the hotel that we were at, because I was actually in the chat talking to people and having a good time doing it. Watching my live stream live was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me just check really quick on the chat and say hello to everybody. Sarah's here. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Says good evening. Thank you, Sarah. She says, Drew and Avery, how are you? Fantastic. Wonderful. So glad to be back at home and live streaming with all of you. Glenn's here. Glenn says, does your wife know you were trying to start a romance scam with Jennifer Miller this week? Maybe you could have talked her into sending you money. Are you a starving artist? You guys, I've stood up before. You guys have seen the size of my belly. I'm not starving. But no, I tell my wife about all my illicit romances with scammers, and she just rolls her eyes. I keep telling her I'm making connections, love connections, and she's like, yeah, whatever. I think, honestly, if I met a scammer who was willing to take me, my wife would probably go for it. Give it a shot. He's all yours. Or yeah, so. Dave's here. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Says, hello, Drew. Manuel, of course, is here. Says, good evening, my friend Drew. Welcome back home. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. Dave also says hello to Avery.
Hey.
By the way, Avery's here. Welcome back to the show. Oh. Manuel says, good evening to Avery as well. Jim's here.
Hey,
Jim says, good evening, Drew and all. Manuel says, good evening, David. Manuel says, good evening to Jim. Dave says hello to Manuel. Jim says good evening to Manuel. Manuel says good evening to Sarah. And Sarah says, did anyone hear Bob Barker die? Oh, no, I hadn't heard that. That's horrible. We had a passing in the comic book community recently. Dan Green, who is probably a very prolific inker.
Yeah.
I mean, his name is like all over the place. He passed away recently. Do you know how old he was, by the way? I know Bob Barker was really, really old.
No, I don't. Yeah. Which is funny is I just, I had just bought that Doctor Strange book that he did the art for.
Right.
He wasn't just the inker, he painted it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That must have been a while ago, though, right?
Oh, yeah, it was old. Okay. I'd never even heard of it. That's the reason I bought it. When I saw it, it's like I'm not even familiar with this particular book at all. I'm not particularly a Doctor Strange fan, but I saw that it was illustrated by Dan Green.
Yeah,
I was just like, what? I have to have this. I've got to check it out. See what
Oh, here's an interesting one, Jim. Oh, wait a minute. Glenn says, just heard about the Dollar General in Jacksonville. I hope no one in your circle was affected. Prayers. I did hear about it. I don't know anybody that was affected by it here in Jacksonville. It was on the news. I haven't really paid attention other than my mother-in-law came in the room to tell us there's a hurricane coming and there was a shootout at a Dollar General. I'm like, what did those have to do with each other? And she says, nothing. It's the top news of the day. I go, okay. Now we're informed. Sarah said Bob Barker was 99. Holy crap.
Jeez.
That is a life well lived. 99. Wow, that's amazing. Manuel says good evening to Glenn. Happy Saturday night. Dave says Bob Barker was 99. Yep. Jim says, yes, I heard about Bob Barker. So sad. My mother loved him in his show. Tim says, good evening from Western Kentucky. Welcome, Tim. Welcome to the show. Glenn said he was 99 just before his 100th birthday. Wow. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking forward to being that old. I tell my wife I'm maybe 15, 20 years away. I don't know if I'm going to. My dad currently And he's 77. I don't think I'll ever see the other side of 70. Not with all my health issues. So I got a very small window to get stuff done. You know what I mean?
Well, it's
But
not just your health issues, it's the fact that you don't address them.
oh, I do. Hey, I've been much better. I haven't been to the hospital for me in over 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'm doing pretty damn good. Manuel says, I hear to Legends Professional Wrestling passed away. I don't follow wrestling, so I'm not sure who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
I don't know who the wrestler is. I don't.
Somebody?
Yeah,
Okay.
he wasn't someone from the era that I watched wrestling.
Oh, okay,
He
gotcha.
was somebody newer.
Yeah. B Bernie B confirms Bob Barker was 99. Manuel says, good evening to Tim. Tim says, my niece and aunt appeared on The Price is Right. Niece lost in the last spin. Oh, wow. Jim says, I got an old scam call from Medicare Advantage Center telling me about a new card they're going to send us. Laugh out loud. Yep, yep. I've been doing with the Medicare scammers lately. I've been asking them, so when am I getting my new card? I've been told I'm getting my new card, and the majority of them are like, "What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about." Even when I talk to licensed agents and tell them I'm getting a new card, they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So just confirms that whole shtick is full of crap. So anyway, so you guys want to hear some vacation stories? Avery, I hate to say it, but I remembered one of the stories I wanted to tell you guys last night after everybody left and it was just me and Todd,
Mhm.
and I had him rolling because it was actually pretty funny. But yeah, one of the things I asked my wife many years ago. She and I have been together. We're getting ready to celebrate our 30th anniversary. It's coming up. And I asked her one time about why she's still with me. Why does she love me? And you know what her one of her response was? Well, among other things, one of her responses, I make her laugh.
Mhm.
And I do. Not just be not in not always an attempt to actually be funny, but just in general. I
Mhm.
make her laugh because sometimes I'm a complete and utter idiot. And this story that I'm going to tell you is a prime example of it. Needless to say, we started our journey to Aruba with my wife almost dying laughing at the TSA checkpoint, getting on the plane to Aruba. So let me set the story up for you guys because as you guys probably know by now, I have never told a short story in my life.
No, no, he hasn't
I haven't. I
really.
haven't.
If he's gonna tell you he went to the state gas station to buy beef jerky and some gas, like
And
it's gonna be a 20-minute story. He
well,
can't just
this
be like he just can't be like I went to the went down to the store to get some beef jerky and some gas.
this will be a short story, but it's pretty funny. But I have to start with the fact that before we left on the trip, I swapped cars with my son. My son has his car is not as old as mine, and I trust it more than I trust mine. Mine recently broke down and I fixed it, no big deal. But I don't like the idea of going 5 hours on a long 300-mile trip with it. It just scares me a little bit. So I switched cars with him, and he's one of those guys where if something is falling apart with his car, if it doesn't impede him from getting to work, he doesn't really care. And he has one of these key fobs where the button stopped working. And I told him, I said, "Let me. I'll see if I can take care of it." Well, I have the backup key, and it hasn't worked in forever. And so I went and took it to the AutoZone and got new batteries. And I put the batteries in it, and his didn't work properly, but the backup key worked perfectly fine. So I said, okay, this is the one I'm going to give him back. And I put the dead batteries in my pocket and forgot I had them there. So we leave, we go down, we drive, we get to the airport, we first checked into the hotel, no problem, did all that stuff. The next day we were going to the airport, and I had the same shorts on, and I had in my wallet, I had my wallet, my keys, my, I had everything that you normally get. Well, when you get to the check place, this checkpoint, they ask you to empty your pockets, take off your shoes, take off your belt, take off your hat, and send it through the machine. Now, Jen's in her chair, so she gets up and she goes through, and they wand her down and they do all that stuff. And I go into the spinning machine where you put your arms up and it goes around you, and an alarm kind of went off. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, whatever. So I go through and the guy says, there was something in your crotch area. And I go, and thinking to myself, I've got nothing at all. So I'm like, okay. The guy says, I'm going to have to pat you down. And he said, do you want to do it here or do you want to go into a private room? And I'm thinking to myself, trust me, I got nothing to hide at all. So I said, we can do it right here. No problem with me. So he gets down on his knee to start doing the pat down, and I lift my hands in the air. And another part of the story that I probably didn't tell you guys, I like bigger clothes. Like, for example, I like wearing a 3X shirt, even though a 2X is perfectly fine with me. I like the extra room in my shirt, so it looks a little baggy on me, but I'm okay with that. Well, I'm the same way when it comes to my shorts. My shorts are a little bit bigger than they're not tight, and my belt is massively important. Now, just remember, I've already gone through the security check. I put my belt and my shoes and everything in the thing. So I lift up my hands like this, and my wife is standing there watching this whole thing happen. And I'm standing right in the middle of everybody. And the guy gets down on one knee to get ready to do the pat down. I lift my hands up, and my shorts drop to my ankles. So needless to say, the TSA agent and everybody around me knew whether or not I was wearing boxers or briefs. And my wife is rolling. She could not help herself. I swear, if she didn't have something to lean on, she would have been on the ground. She was laughing so
Yeah.
hard. And she's like, this has been the greatest trip, and it's only just started. So I immediately grab my pants and pull them, and I'm like, I am so sorry. And I guarantee you this has happened to them before.
Oh, absolutely. But it's pretty great that it happened to you too.
It happened to me. And hey, and I'm like, I wasn't I I'm not easy to embarrass because I don't care, but I felt bad for the guy. And when they do their pat down, they don't do it like this. They do it with the back of their hand. And he had to, go inside my crotch area and go all the way around my buttocks. And yeah, he felt everything. And it wasn't until we got done and I got over to where I picked up all my clothes or all my stuff that I reached into my pocket and went, "Oh, here's those two dead batteries." I didn't remember they were there, so I didn't think to take them out. But that's what it is that set off the machine, was the two watch battery size batteries that were in my pocket that I completely forgot all about. And
You
hey, at
are
least
you are a cartoon character.
oh, I definitely am. But that's how our trip started. So, and we had, and I'll be honest with you guys, I had a fantastic time. I missed you all thoroughly, especially you, Avery. Manuel, I missed you as well. I missed all of you, but I hope you enjoyed all the videos that I had lined up and ready for you guys. So if you got an opportunity, I know a lot of you did, because I could see comments and views on all the videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed those. I'm back to making, like, I got to make my video for tomorrow tonight. I'm back to being, one day behind. So that's a good thing. It keeps me on my toes, so to say. But yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, I felt so bad for that guy. I mean,
Oh man.
yeah, well, that's the job they signed up for.
Yeah.
That's the job they signed, because
You got a comment coming up I'm looking forward to.
oh boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Glenn says they're getting a Bucky's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, Bucky's. Hell yeah, dude. I love Bucky's.
When my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law showed back up to drop her off, because they were a day behind us. Their flight was a day behind, and they stayed the night and traveled up that the next day. they all had Bucky cups in the car, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not gonna tell my wife that, because if she knew they got to stop at Bucky's and we didn't, because
Yeah.
from Fort Lauderdale back to Jacksonville, I know of at least 2 Bucky's. There's a Daytona one and a
Yeah.
Jacksonville one that's right outside St. Augustine, and we just drove straight through. So
Dude,
coming
their
back home,
brisket sandwiches are pretty good.
they got some good food. They got some good food there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go back and read some of the chats, get everybody
All
caught,
right.
catch back up. Tim said good evening. Okay, B B Bernie B, I got that one. Manuel says good evening to Tim. Tim says, oh, yep, I already got that one. The price is right. Jim says, I got to, okay, yep, I read that one. Clark's here. Hey, Clark, how's it going? The wrestler was Bray Wyatt, died of a heart attack at 36. Really?
That's young, man.
Ooh,
Whoa.
that is really young. Dude. Have you ever heard of the name
No,
Bray?
he's relatively new. That's the reason I don't
Well,
know it.
yeah, okay.
He's not
Yeah,
he's not from the era that I watched
the
wrestling.
wrestlers from the era you watch are probably in their 60s now, right?
Yeah, very few of them are still wrestling. Like Undertaker's still wrestling
Yeah, yeah. I wonder how old he
occasionally.
is, because I remember the name and the character, but
He's up there.
yeah.
But I think he does still wrestle some. I think.
Okay. Glenn says, have you trampled on any scammers' egos today? How are their life choices doing? I'm getting a lot of dead air phone calls from restricted this week. Um, I know I got at the store today probably 5 to 6 calls, and I think I ignored all of them. I was actually very busy. I was doing a lot of work at the store. I built a new display in the window. I put up a new light over my desk. Somebody brought in a box of comics for me. So I got a brand new box of comics, some old stuff, some new stuff. I'm looking forward to going through it. I was supposed to put all the CGC books that I got recently into my inventory, and I forgot my inventory drive, my little zip drive thing that I bring. So I couldn't put anything new in the inventory because it would conflict with what I already have at home. So I got to merge the 2 files together tonight. So I'll be up late tonight working on that. And there was a local show this weekend, and I, for the life of me, kept telling everybody it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So check it out on Sunday. And as I was leaving my store closing up today, I looked at the poster that I have in my window and have had for like 3 or 4 months. Guess when the show was, Avery? The one that I plan to go to
When?
today. It was a
Oh.
1 day only show, and it was today, and I missed it. Just put a big F on my forehead for fail,
Ah.
because I failed. That's all right.
You can't do it all, man.
I know. But I did a lot of work at the store today. That was the important part. But my sister covered the store for me last week. And one of the things, God bless her, she's a wonderful human being. One of the things she does while I'm gone is clean. She vacuumed, she straightened up, she dusted, she cleaned. My organizational skills, and you guys can probably tell if you look at the picture around of the videos of my office, there is crap everywhere. My organization skill is organized clutter or organized chaos. Everything is all over the place, but I know where everything is. I can find everything. Even though it looks like a tornado went through here sometime, I know where everything is. When she comes to my store and cleans, I can't find diddly crap. I can't find anything. And she has a tendency, and I love her. God help her. She told me she was going to watch these videos because I said I was going to mention her. She likes to take stuff, group it all together, and put them in little baggies, and put them in my my drawing table drawers. Like, so I'll open them up, and there's all these different bags. Like, one's got zip ties in them, another's got uh, like price stickers in it, and she organizes everything, and I can't find crap. What was I looking for? Oh, I was looking for a backboard. I just wanted one damn backboard just so I could write a sign that says I'll be opening late on Sunday because I'm going to the show. I found one backboard. I had a stack somewhere. I have no idea where she put them. and I found one, and I made the sign. And as I'm leaving, I'm putting the sign up in the window. I look at the poster that says the 26th. And I went, wait a minute, isn't today the 26th? I literally had to look at my phone to confirm today was the 26th and went, damn, I missed the show. Ah, well. Anyway, that's how my day went today. But it was nice. It was nice. I made sales. I sold some stuff. I traded for some comics. I did some construction in the store, built new stuff, and I'm looking forward to one more day of not having to go to work. Avery, this evening we were talking about something that was coming up, event-wise, family-wise, and my mother-in-law was saying something about she needed to do this, and I need to help her do this. And I said, well, if you guys would just let me quit my day job, I could be available to you anytime. And my wife was like, nope, not yet, sucker.
Not yet.
So, gotta wait till after that wedding. Those wedding bells are done. Manuel says, good evening to Clark. B. Bernie B says 30 years. Great. Yep. All right. So this trip to Aruba was technically our anniversary trip. And I told her this evening, I was joking with her, and I said, now all we got to do is just make it to November. She said, what do you mean make it to November? I said, in order for it to officially be 30 years. And she goes, where are you going? Where are you planning on going? I said, oh, baby, I could run off and join the circus at any time. And needless to say, we're sitting on the love seat together watching TV. She reached over, and this is a my wife move. I don't know if any of you out there have wives that'll do this to you as a way of punishing you. My wife used to, when we would sit together at the dinner table at my parents' house, if I said something smart-assy, she would take a fork and jam it into my leg. Well, since she had a sandwich and a soup, she didn't have any forks. So she reached over with her hand, grabbed my crotch, and squeezed as a way of punishing me for whatever smart-ass move I made.
Jeez!
She missed. All she got was jeans. And I actually turned to her and said, honey, you missed. And then I realized, oh, crap, that's an invitation for her to try again. And I stopped her and said, honey, that wasn't an invitation to try again. I swear. And she had this huge Cheshire grin on her face. Like I knew exactly what she was thinking when I said that. And sometimes, Drew, I have to tell myself, don't be stupid. Don't encourage her to attack you again. And yeah, I kept her from, yeah. That's how dumb I am. You've never had somebody do that to you before? Normally it's maybe a pinch. Maybe it's a pinch, like pinch her leg.
No.
My wife went full cat. And luckily I had enough. That's a reason why my shorts are bigger than they need to be. So I have a lot of extra space in there. So instead of grabbing me, she grabs space.
I think your wife beats you. Andrew, you're a battered woman.
That's so sad. All right, I'm getting back to the chats. Clark says hello to Manuel. Glenn says we're getting a Buc-ee's in Colorado in 2024. Fantastic.
Man.
Manuel says name is Terry Funk and Wyndham Rotund name was wrestling. Oh, that was his name in wrestling for Brad Wyatt. Terry Funk and Wyndham Rotund. Okay. Well, I've never heard of either one of them.
Terry Funk, I know. Terry Funk's from back when I did watch wrestling.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Oh, yeah. The other guy was newer.
Okay. Births is here. He says, hey, I've always wanted to ask a scam baiter, are they particularly scammers? Or are there particular scams that are more challenging to scam bait than others? I'll be honest with you. I just screw with all of them. I particularly like the credit card ones and the Amazon ones. Those are some of my favorites, simply because they have to get through their speech. They have to get through their script in order to get to what it is they're trying to get from you. And even then, once you start screwing with them, because a good credit card scam can take 5 to 6 minutes just to get to the credit card number. just to get to the fake number that's going to piss them off. And so there's other scams that they take they take longer to build up. Some of them are really quick to build up, but are there any more challenging? I I have a tendency when I deal with the scammers to act naive, and I guess I pull it off really well, you know, being dumb and stupid and naive and not understanding because I want them to explain to me everything. And from time to time, they will take the time to explain what it is they're doing and what they're trying to get from you. And sometimes they lose patience very quickly, but it's always fun to try to drag it out as long as possible. I thoroughly encourage. A lot of people say, "Well, when I get upset and get mad and get frustrated with them, and they usually end to call people like, yeah, yeah, go get them, go get 'em." That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to waste their time. So being naive and you know dumb is one way to play it. So I don't know if that answers the question or not, but there you go. Dave says, Glenn, what is Buc-ee's? It's a gas station. It's a very large gas station.
Yeah,
It's almost like a Walmart in a gas station.
yeah. I mean, it's a gas station, but they have like this little island in there where they make like brisket and barbecue sandwiches, and there's a
Oh yeah,
deli and a bakery, and like all these
gift
like
shops
a,
and
a
oh
huge
yeah,
gift shop where you could buy like it's like name brand clothes, not just the
yep,
crappy
yep.
tourist t-shirts, but they have that too.
And they
You
have dozens and dozens of gas pumps, so
Yeah,
it's
huge like
huge.
clean bathrooms, like slushy machines and all
Oh,
kinds of
yeah.
it,
Bucky's
it's
is it's an experience.
it is for a
Yep.
gas station. It's an experience. Fish break bread, brownies.
For a
Uh,
gas station, yeah, there you go.
yeah, I mean you can buy a grill.
Yeah, yeah, you can.
You can buy a propane or a charcoal grill. I mean, like a nice one. If you're if you're like got a camper and travel with your
You know what
family,
I
you need
should
to buy a new grill.
do one day? I should go to a Bucky's and just walk around with my camera
Yeah,
so you guys can see what a Bucky's is like.
it's insane. They're mostly from Texas, I believe,
Hmm.
because I
I know
know.
we got a couple in Florida,
Yeah,
so
yeah, but they're new here. Like they're new this way. Like
well,
people in out in Texas and stuff have had them for longer.
my sister and brother-in-law on a date night went to the new Bucky's in St. Augustine when it opened,
Uh-huh.
and my sister said they spent like $200 just
Yeah.
buying
Oh,
stuff,
you
and that
could.
wasn't even gas. That wasn't even gas.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and what's nice about them is they're really clean and the
oh
service
yeah,
is really good. They're really nice.
they
I
usually
mean,
have a lot of people working there.
yeah, everything's a little expensive, but if you're traveling with your family and you want a clean place to stop
Yep,
and like
yep.
get some food that's like decent, because the sandwiches and stuff and the brownies and all that, it's actually pretty damn good. Stop there. That
Yep, yep.
plenty of
Oh,
gas, clean bathrooms. It's a nice place to go if you're traveling. You got the kids and the family with you.
Sarah's got a question for you.
Oh,
Says, "Are we ever going to see Avery's face?"
maybe.
See, that's almost like, do you really want to?
Oh yeah. Do you really want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm horribly disfigured. I'm like
Hey,
I'm like Doctor Doom. I wear a mask.
yeah. Well, there's a reason why he covered. No, I'm just kidding. Avery's just shy.
Avery's
We're,
also too lazy to set up his camera.
there you go. I was getting there. Yeah, he was going to show us something last night on Todd's live stream, and he goes, "Damn it, I can't do it because my camera's not set up."
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe one
I
of these days. Emmanuel says, "Happy Saturday night to B Bernie B." Let's see, B Bernie D. I think, or that's what he wrote. Let me see. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Sarah, face green smiling, face green smiling, face green smiling. Manuel says a whole bunch of smiley faces. Kevin's here. Kevin says hello. Hey, Kevin. That was let's see, what time is it? That was almost 15 minutes ago. So sorry, I'm just catching up now. It's what happens when I tell a short story. Glenn says, largest convenience store, over 100 gas pumps, 75,000 square feet. Yep,
Yeah,
they are huge.
they're great.
Dave says, oh, wow, that's big.
It is a spectacle of a
Avery,
gas station. I love
Avery,
it. Yeah.
she's never said that.
Oh, she
Emmanuel
hasn't.
says, no, no. Says, good evening to Kevin. Cross is here. Hey, Cross. Well, actually, Cross was here 15 minutes ago. Hopefully, he's still.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, Rick. Dave says hello to Cross. Manuel says hey to Cross. Rosemary says that was hilarious. Well, thank you. That's my story. Sarah says I've been working on Saturday night, so I haven't been here in a while. No problem. No problem. We're glad you're here. Jim says good evening to Cross. Sarah says what is Bucky's? We already did that. Glenn says, "Lucky you weren't going commando." Yeah, oh yeah, that's not something I ever would have
Oh,
done. So yeah.
oh,
Manuel says, "Good evening to Rosemary." Dave says, "Sarah, look up on the chat." Rosemary says, "Hi to Manuel." Kevin says, "Okay, I got a question for you. I get a call from these scammers claiming to be from Chase Bank. That's my credit card, and it has been used, and they want to cancel my card. How do they know your card numbers?" Um, if you okay, first off, if you get a call from someone claiming to be from your bank, the best thing to do is to hang up with them and call your bank directly. That way you know who you're
yeah,
talking to.
yeah. You call them, get the number off the back of your card, and
Yep.
you call
Yep.
them and
That's
be like,
and
"Hey, I just got this phone call. Is this really you?
yep.
Is this legit?"
I worked for a security department in a credit card company, and whenever we'd call people about unauthorized activity on their cards and they were like, "Ooh, I don't know who you are," we would tell them, "No problem. Easy solution, call the number on the back of your card. I've blocked your account. I flagged it. As soon as you call, they'll send you right over to my department. No problem. Easy fix." Never, ever, ever. And I've actually had this before where my credit card company has actually reached out to me about authorizations, and I'm like, lady, I don't know who you are, and they're like, call the number on the back of your card,
Hmm.
and that's exactly what I'll do.
Yeah.
And he says, how do they know? How do they know your card numbers? If your credit card company is going to contact you, they are not going to give you your credit card numbers. That's not going to happen. They don't do that. So if they say they have your credit card numbers, they're not going to tell you what it is. Because first off, if they're calling you, they honestly don't know who they're talking to. They're just calling your number. They don't know who picked up the phone. They're not going to give any of your information out over the phone. They may ask for security information to verify it's you, but they're never going to give you the credit card numbers because they don't know who they're talking to at first. So, Kevin, if you get a call from your credit card company saying there's unauthorized activity on your card and they want to confirm it, you can say, no problem. I'll call you right back. Call your credit card company directory. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I got that, what, a couple months ago when my credit card information got stolen. I got that text. I was just like,
Yep.
I called the bank myself directly. It's just like, "Hey,
Yep.
what is this legit?"
Was it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got a
The
new card.
outreach was correct, right?
Was legit. Yes.
Yeah. Clark says the Undertaker is 56 years old.
Boom.
Wow, he's only like what, 7 years older than me?
Hmm.
Damn, that's
But
actually
I remember, it's like, but I remembered Undertaker like I was still a kid,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm 48. Yeah,
Manuel says Terry Funk was 79.
yeah,
So that's probably one of the reasons why you remember hearing the name is because
yes. Terry
that's
Funk, I
somebody.
remember.
Yeah. Tim says comedian Donnie Baker died several weeks ago. I've been
Hmm.
reviewing his YouTube videos. Funny, but not for everybody. I'm not sure if I'm
I'm
not
not
familiar
familiar
with
with them.
that name. Yeah. Okay. We'll have to check it out. Manuel says, yes, Undertaker, he was 56. He's retired.
He's retired now. Okay.
Dave says, Kevin, you don't know they're going to ask for your credit card number to verify. Yeah, if somebody claiming to be from your bank wants you to verify your credit card number, don't they already have all that information? They don't. Yeah. It's you got to be careful when people call you because you honestly don't know who you're talking to. Even if it is somebody from your credit card company security department, you still don't know for sure. Call the bank directly. That's the best way to do it. Rosemary says, "Leave us women alone." Ha ha ha. I think that was from your earlier comment.
Yeah.
Manuel says, "I get phone calls from cable, get service left on my voicemail." Yep. Clark says, "Do you guys hear about the actress who voiced Harley Quinn on Batman the Animated Series? She's passed away today. Arlene Sorkin?" Really?
Oh
No, I
wow.
hadn't heard that.
Well, she was also on like Days of Our Lives or something, I believe.
Yeah. Well, that's weird because what's his name? Kevin Conroy recently passed away, and he was the
Yeah.
voice of Batman from the
Yeah.
animated series. Wow. Hold on.
Dude, he's like the best Batman.
Yeah, he was one of the best. Hold on just a quick second. The puppy dog is scratching at my door, and I don't want him to screw up the door. He can come in and say hi. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I've
You want to
always
say hi to
preferred
everybody?
I've always preferred her voice for Harley over everyone else.
Well, you know who does Harley currently, right?
No.
Kelly Coco from, or Kelly, whatever her name is from
Big
Big
Bang.
Bang Theory.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's the voice of Harley on the current Harley Quinn show.
Mm-hmm. Didn't the girl that does Bernadette play her for something also?
She voiced Harley Quinn in one of the Batman animated movies.
Mm.
I forget which one. I think there was one that was specifically Batman and Harley Quinn,
Mm-hmm.
and she did the voice of Harley Quinn in that one. So it's weird how they get these similar working actresses. Well, but say hi, everybody. This is
Melissa
Tyler.
Rauch is her name. Melissa
Yes.
Rauch.
Yeah. She's awesome.
I've always thought she was really hot.
Yep. All right, back to the Anita's here. Hey, Anita says, "Misfit, I wish you lived here where I lived at because my son has boxes and boxes of old comic books." Oh, I love boxes and boxes of old comics. Ah, love it. If you ever come down this way, bring them on by. Stop on by. Kevin says, "But the scammer gave me my 2 credit card numbers. I did not tell him the numbers." That's interesting. It's quite possible that may have been somebody from your bank. I don't know why they would give you the credit card numbers. That seems very weird. That's
you
not
need to,
something they give out over the phone, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's weird that you might need to contact your credit card companies.
Yeah, you may.
And see if anything's going on. And
Yeah, exactly.
Get that handled.
Cross says, "Why would you want to find crap? It would be crappy." Rick's so bad. Jim says to Kevin, "Always ask who you calling, what name you have on your credit cards, or just call the bank." Dave says, "Kevin, ask Drew. He may know if it was me. It would have had the cards turned off and get new cards sent to me." Well, if there is unauthorized activity, your credit card companies or your banks will cancel the card and send you new ones. That's not a problem. That's very easy to do. It's inconvenient because you have to wait for the new card to come. With my bank, I bank with a local credit union. I'm not going to say which one, just simply because I don't want all the scammers to know what I really. I make up a whole bunch of banks that I don't actually bank with, but I have a credit union here where the last time we had an issue with a card, I went to the bank and they actually gave me a new card. I got it right there and then.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you can get new cards quickly nowadays. So it's not as big of a hassle as it used to be. Kevin says they said my name, my last number of my. Why would they give you your social security number? That's so weird. That's all personal, private stuff that they shouldn't be giving out. I don't. That's Kevin. That is such an iffy whole. That whole story is very iffy. I would contact your bank and I would do it at your earliest convenience and make sure everything's kosher with it.
Yeah.
Glenn says you need to leave a couple of D batteries in your pocket for your wife. Honestly, she would know that that's not my. Yeah, that was something else. So she'd know. After 30 years, she knows. Manuel says, "Hey, my friend Drew, I forgot. See Big Fat Cat in your office on video." Yep, they're around. From time to time. They sneak in. Manuel says, "I watch YouTube videos, scam baiters. She lost her father last week. She makes videos on YouTube." Oh no, who was that? Well, there's a lot of scam baiters out there. So Rosemary says, have to say bye for now. Low battery. Okay. Thanks for coming by, Rosemary. We'll see you next time. That was probably 20 minutes ago. Sorry. I'm so bad. Actually, it was 11 minutes ago. So I'm catching up. I'm catching up, guys. Kevin says, okay, I got a good one. I got a call from a funeral expense. Well, I gave them false information, a fake social security, and a closed checking account number. Very good. Waste their time. Absolutely. Glenn says, my new voice is a falsetto Betty at 90 years. Okay, that's good. You guys know I'm horrible at fake voices, so but I have tried a few in the past. Tim says bag of ice at 69 cents at Buc-ee's. Oh, that's well, depending on how many pounds it is, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Birth says, I do want to tell you that thanks to you that I now screw with any scammer who calls me. You also answered my question very well. Okay, excellent, excellent. Manuel says, Drew, I have 3 kills in racially at. Oh yes, yes. I don't know all the details of that story. I'm gonna have to find out, but I know there was some type of shooting at a Dollar General, and
Not
it's
surprising.
it's making national news. So whatever it was, it's I guess it's big. And all I'm thinking to myself is, damn it, guys, we got a Jags game going on right now. Don't be taking the spotlight off of the Jags, you know? They were playing pretty good, man. Glenn says the Phantom of the Opera mask for Avery. Oh, Avery, do you have any type of masks you could wear?
I've got a Batman mask that came.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I want one of these custom hockey masks this one guy makes.
Oh, really? Like a
Yeah,
Goldie mask or?
no, it's this guy who makes a custom chest rigs, AK chest rigs,
Okay.
and some of them come with a custom hockey mask he make. Like if he makes a snakeskin chest rig, he'll he'll take a hockey mask and it'll have like snakeskin.
Oh, wow.
Dude,
Okay.
they're rad. I'm like, oh man, I want one of these chest rigs. They're so cool, and I want one of the ones he makes with matching hockey mask.
B. Bernie B says, would love to see Buc-ee's. Nothing like that on the West Coast. It is.
It's a spectacle. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I've always said there's 2 things here in Jacksonville that you need to experience. Going to an NFL game is one of those. If you've never been to an NFL game, it's an experience. You don't always have to do it more than once, but you have to do it at least once. And visiting a Buc-ee's, that's another experience thing here. Yeah, we got the beach and we got some other stuff, but who cares about that stuff? Glass Bottles here says, hey, E&E. B. Bernie B says, it's spelled Buc-ee's. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Daryl Devine is here, says they have now stopped. They have now stooped to texting, stating they are a UPS driver and need to talk to you concerning delivery of a package today. I have heard people comment about that.
Really?
I have not gotten it myself, but I've heard that before, where they'll text the number and they'll tell you their UPS or USPS or whatever, and that they need to talk to you. So. I heard scratching. It's Betsy. She's down there on the floor.
All right.
All right. Let me see what else we got going on here. Soul Survivors here says, give us a 5-second warning before you reveal so we can look. Oh, I was not going to drop trial for you guys. I promise.
Thank God.
Kevin says, but they knew my name, my social number, these scammers. I called the bank and they said my credit card had not been used. Wow. Wasn't there some was there not in the news recently a breach of a big company's security where social security numbers and stuff like that was accessed?
That happens all the time, dude.
I know it does, but there was some big thing was just recently I'm briefly remembering the story, but it's possible, Kevin, that a breach like that could have given them that information.
Yeah, those data breaches happen all the time. They keep telling you, oh,
Yep.
we're secure, this is secure. None of it is secure because there's always somebody who knows how to get through it.
I've never ever had a credit card company or bank contact me and ask me to verify my social security number to where they knew it. They would tell it to me. That has
Yeah,
never happened. That's definitely
that's
suspicious. And from what he says here, he called him and his cards had not been used.
hmm,
I, Kevin, I hope you didn't confirm your credit card numbers with them. You know, if you
yeah.
did, I may want to encourage you to contact your bank and see about getting new cards. But that's crazy if they had your name and social. But most likely that could have come from a breach, a security breach of some type with some company.
Or it was a legit call, but
See, I don't see.
it sounds fishy.
Yeah, it does. Anytime you feel uncomfortable with a call, hang up. You know, that's the best advice I can give everybody. If you feel uncomfortable, hang up. Glass Bottle says, sadly, these scammers messed everyone up with their scam calls, and people tend to hang up on legitimate phone calls if they speak with an accent. Yep, that is absolutely true. That one call that I got, that was actually from my bank where I questioned it. The lady did have an accent, but I think it was more of it wasn't like an Indian or Pakistan. It's not one of the ones I'm used to. It was more Spanish. She had a Spanish accent, which kind of threw me off at first. I'm like, it didn't seem like it was going the route of a scammer, but to be sure, I just called the bank to make sure. But yeah, that's always iffy with that stuff. I've been asking a couple of the calls I got because I did still take calls while I was in Aruba. We were able to connect to the hotel's Wi-Fi, and I got Wi-Fi calls, so I was able to record some. A couple of them, they would call and they say, "We're from the U.S. Healthcare Department," and I asked them, I said, "Why is it that everybody I talk to from the U.S. Healthcare Department has an Indian accent?" And one guy called me a racist, and I'm like, "It's not racism. That's just slightly observant." You
Yeah.
know, it's
If it
just
keeps
weird.
happening, if it's a noticeable pattern,
Yeah. All right. Tim says, I almost got my card canceled by trying to buy an easy pass for the vending machine at the Florida state line. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. When I worked in security for a credit card company, one of the flags that went up is when a card was used multiple times at gas stations. Now, here's the reason why. If somebody is going to steal your card or is going to find your card or is going to get a hold of one of your credit cards, the absolute easiest place for them to go to test to see if it's a valid card is a gas station. You run it through. If it accepts it, they know it's valid, it's still active, it's still open, and they can drive off right there and then. They don't have to pump gas or anything. They're just testing, making sure the card works. And nobody's going to stop them, And it's the quick, easy drive away. I bet you vending machines like that is another one that they would test the card at. So if your credit card
oh
company
yeah,
sees like multiple attempts at a gas station or at a vending machine like that, it will send up a flag that, hey, this is unusual activity, check with the person. And but that's the exact reason why that we would get whenever you would see, especially if somebody didn't use their card for gas on a regular basis and all of a sudden their card's being used swiped at the gas station, that's usually a red flag because that's where they test out the cards and and make sure they work. So there you go. A little bit of information for everybody. I'm pretty sure that's common information. You guys may or may not have known it, but that's the easiest way for somebody to test to see if a card works and to drive off and not be get caught. Manuel says, hello to everybody. Say hello to your puppy. Oh, I will. I don't, is he still in here? Nope. Yep. He's on his pillow underneath my desk right now. Sarah says, what's your dog's name? His name is Tyler. He's not mine. He's my mother-in-law's, but he loves me because I'm the best. Glass Bottle says, scammers have been getting hostile with me lately when I use a Hindi curse word and say support. How may I help you? They hang up quickly. That's funny. That's funny. Manuel says, so what is your name? Yes, what is your name? I think he was talking about Tyler. Manuel says, hey to Glass Bottle. Darlene's here. Hey, Darlene. Hey. She says, hey, everybody. Sick with the COVID flu. My husband and boys tested positive also. Not a fun week. Oh, goodness. Well, get rest, relax, and get better, please. Glass Bottle says hello to Manuel. Manuel says good evening to Darlene. Winona's here. Hey, Winona says, hey, everybody. Glass Bottle says there's shootings every weekend. Well, yes, in a lot of places. And
Yeah.
what's the sad part about it is there are places in this country where shootings happen all the time and nobody reports about it.
And no one cares.
Yeah. Well, a shooting at a place here in Jacksonville is kind of unusual. I mean, shootings happen, but this one apparently was enough to make national news. So I'm going to have to find out what's going on. Manuel says good evening to Winona. Darlene says hi to Manuel. Manuel says Drew already a season fix start next month in September. Yeah, next month is September, and it's a week away. My my mother-in-law was reminding me of a trip they're taking, and I asked her when it was, and she says it's supposed to be September 4th, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's like next Monday. That's like right around the corner. It's like crap. September's coming up quickly. Dave says, Drew, I went to one Browns game and never went again. The stadium is terrible. Well, that's the Browns for you. I'm talking about Jacksonville's games. Actually, Jacksonville, they just proposed a building, not a brand new stadium, but upgrading our current stadium with like the state of the art futuristic football stadium. I've seen pictures of it. It looks kind of cool. But it's going to take, I think they said it's going to take 2 years to do, which means the Jags will not be playing in Jacksonville for those 2 years. And they have not said where the heck they're going to be playing. So that could be interesting. That could affect a lot of businesses that make money based on people coming here for Jaguar games and whoever else they're playing. It's not always the Jags that they're coming for. So I wish it was, but not always.
Apparently, Andrew,
Mhm.
a suspect barricaded himself in a Dollar General on Kings Road.
Oh, wow. Well, that's not even our side of town. So
yeah, but you know where Kings Road is.
yeah, I know. Not necessarily the nicest place to visit type of area. Mr. Porcupine Man says, I like dinosaurs. All right, excellent. Manuel says, hello, Mr. Porcupine Man. Happy Saturday night. Sarah says, my son wants to go to a Giants game. And like I said, a NFL game is an experience. You got to go to at least one. My wife, it wasn't it was either a Jags game or it was a Gator Bowl game, which is a college game. My wife and I got tickets from a family friend, and she begrudgingly went. And the entire time we're sitting there watching the game, all she could think of is, I should have brought my knitting with me. Which I would have been so embarrassed had she done it. But then again, that's her thing, and she puts up with me. We were this evening's game started at 7, and I told her before we sat down to have dinner and watch a show, I said, hey, just so you know, the game starts at 7 and I want to check in. And we were watching a program, and then we stopped it to go switch to the game, and the Jags were driving, and they were like on the 20-yard line. She goes, okay, switch it back to the other show. And I said, wait, I haven't finished watching. See if they score. I mean, you got to at least give me that. And then they fumbled on the 1-yard line. So I got to watch that. But she's like, okay, switch it back. I said, honey, the play's not even over yet. You're already. Oh. You have to be a fan of football to understand how frustrating that is when somebody wants to change the channel in the middle of a drive. So Manuel says someone hacked the OMV in Louisiana. Oh, goodness. Oh, wow. Heinz Gerald Nax here says the Indian moon landing was paid for by Google Play Cards. Sorry, couldn't resist. What? The Indian moon landing was paid for by Google Play Cards. Sorry, couldn't resist. I wonder if he means Google gift cards. Craig says, like button, please. Oh, yes. Yeah. Hit the like button if you get an opportunity. Glass Bottle says, too many goody two-shoe scammers sneaking personal information and selling it to scammers. This is why these companies need to stop outsourcing to India and Pakistan. That's a really interesting point, Glass Bottle, because I know I've told you, or you guys have heard the calls with the Comcast scammers, in which I gave them a fake checking account number to bill, right? I've gotten so many calls from either my cable provider or Comcast that they always start the call off with, "You remember when we spoke to you before and you gave us your checking account information?" I have screwed with these guys so much so I've told them I have a YouTube channel. I told them I'm never going to give them any money, and they keep calling me back, which makes me think it's not the same call center. They're sharing that information with other call centers.
Yeah.
It's got to be, because I actually got a really good call while I was on vacation from a Comcast scammer, and it was a good 15-minute call where I think the guy realized he'd talked to me before, because it was the same thing, because he, at one point in the call, he says to me, "Wait a minute, are you recording this call?" And I said, "Yes." And he says, "And you have a YouTube channel?" And I big smile on my face. "Yes, I do." And he's like, "Mother," and I'm like, but I think they share that information. They most definitely share that information with other call centers, because there's no way possible that the same crazy people that I've talked to are continuing to call me back. They've got to be sharing that information.
Yes.
So just know it's definitely out there. Daryl says, Move It announced this month a major data breach, including all data files to include name, address, social security numbers, Medicare, Medicaid, and payment method on file. Holy crap. Move It. That might have been the one I heard about. So there is, guys, I hate to say this, but there's a really good chance that all your data is out there somewhere, and
Yep.
somebody's getting it, and somebody's going to call you to try to confirm it and try to use it. Be careful, especially when they call you. And I mean, you guys know, when somebody calls you and says, "Hey, I'm calling from your credit card company or your cable provider or your internet provider," and they don't know the name of the company, pretty good chance they're full of crap. Or when they call and they say, "Hey, I'm calling from your Bank of America account." Well, I don't have Bank of America. I tell them I do, but I've never banked with Bank of America. You know immediately that that's a scam call, but you can never be 100% sure. This is one of the reasons why you got to be careful. When somebody calls and says they're calling from your bank, don't give them any information. Call your bank directly. I mean, that's the lesson of the night. Call your bank directly. Manuel says, "Good evening" to Heinz. Manuel says, "Hey" to Gary. Craig says hello, or says smiley face to Manuel. Sarah says, "Feel better soon, Darlene." Glass Bottle says, "If you live in a certain state and never left and your stuff is used in another state, that's a big red flag." Absolutely. Actually, with my credit, the one card that we use pretty much for everything while we were on this trip, I went to the site ahead of time, to the site for the credit card, and there was actually a area, "Are you planning on traveling?" I clicked on that and said, "Where are you going and from when to when?" And I put in the information. No problem whatsoever. Had no problems using the card, no problems with anything. Now, had I lost my card, that would have been a whole different situation. But when it came to, going to the gas station or going to the grocery store, paying for dinner, we had no problems whatsoever. It was a very, like I said, this whole trip was a smooth trip. Avery, you'll get a kick out of this, but we were literally on the drive home from the airport, heading home, and I said to my wife, I said,
Yep.
"This was actually a very smooth trip." And I swear she was going to hit me. She's like, "We're not home yet. Shut the hell up. We're not home yet. You're going to jinx yourself, you big dumb idiot." And I almost did.
Oh,
But
you battered woman.
yes, yeah, she's abusive. But
You're a battered woman, Andrew.
I am. But I like it. I
Oh,
enjoy it.
whoa.
That reminds me of that one couple from, you remember the TV show Preacher,
Yeah.
where the preacher found out that the husband was like beating on the wife, and the little kid said, my dad beats on my wife, and he went to
My
talk
mom.
to the wife. Yeah, my mom, and he went and talked to her, and she kind of hinted, "Well, yeah, I like it." I'm like, "Oh my god, you
Yeah.
sick depraved people." Yeah, well, that's me.
All right. Get
Yeah.
the Gimp.
Ah! Tim says I spent 45 minutes at a gas station further down the road when my credit card wouldn't work. I did get it lined out. Okay, well, yeah, that can happen. Jim says, sadly, the next country near me, a pastor was robbed and shot. Oh man, the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
county near me, this,
The world is full of awful people that will do awful things.
yeah, you got to
I
be
mean,
able.
they have no conscience whatsoever.
That is
They are
true in a lot of
they are
cases.
they are lizard brained predators, and they're capable of anything.
Yep. Be 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 observant of your surroundings and the people around you. That's probably rule number one.
And stay
Pay
strapped.
attention to and yeah, if you can, that's right. Be protected. Glenn says, Darlene, I had about 30 extra COVID tests left over from when my Medicare number was compromised. Glenn's going to be selling them on the black market. Darlene says, I hope so, to Sarah. Sarah says, I always pay inside gas station because my debit card was hacked by a skimmer. They ended up using my card to purchase a $600 shovel in California. Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yeah, well, if you guys realize it, gas stations are meant to be convenient, easy. You pull up, you run your card, you pump your gas, and you go.
Yep.
But if somebody has a skimmer set up and gets your information, they can go hog wild with some of that stuff. So you got to be careful. Manuel says Jags 24, Miami 6. Excellent. Excellent. It was 7-3 when I started the show. So they're doing good. Love it. Looking forward to it. Tim says, I've been to several Colt games before Peyton Manning was playing. Okay. I wonder I bet you a Colt game is probably a good one too. They have a lot of good fans, and if I remember correctly, they have a nice stadium too. Darlene says we have a few tests. Just hope my oldest son can go back to work on Monday. So much of it for his mini vacation. You know what's so funny? In our home, it's me, my wife, and my mother-in-law. The two of them got COVID. I never tested positive. And I'm here with them all the time, and
Because
they were the only two that got sick.
you're probably somebody who's just naturally immune.
Well, I'm natural in a lot of things.
I mean, a lot of people are.
Yeah. Birth says, in listening to scam baiters, I'm really like to pick them up by asking them what they have, and I'll tell them if it's correct or not. Scam baiters are the most effective than you guys realize. Well, that is true. Darlene says we got calls from the same numbers. I do too. I have one number programmed into my phone, and it comes up as diabetic scammer because they've used the number before, even though it's not their number. They've used it before. Glass Bottle says, "What gets my goat with these scammers? They wonder why they get abused. Stop calling and scamming people. It's not a job." That is absolutely true. Manuel says, I get emails from scammers on COVID tests. I delete the trash. I did start to get the COVID test calls again, but they were asking about Medicaid, which I don't have. I don't have Medicare either, but I told them I don't have it, and they usually hang up at that point. So I don't know if Medicaid is offering free COVID tests, and they're using that as their try to get your information. But I haven't gotten one of those calls in a while, so I'm not sure if that program's still going on or not. Glass Bottle says it's always their accent, the big red flag. That is true. Winona says some green faces. Manuel says, you see that Donald Trump got arrested? Yeah, my mom's thrilled, by the way. Daryl says there is no depth low enough for scammers won't sink to, even burial plans. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Glass Bottle says, pay for your gas inside the store. B Bernie B says, I've heard the Google Pay is very safe to use for your payment cards. Okay. Manuel says, "How is Betsy doing tonight?" Not too bad. She's doing really good. She's doing good. I know I've told you guys before that she likes to steal people's straws and collect straws, literally from the living room where we were watching TV to my office. I found 6 straws. It's her little collection. She collects them,
Yeah.
and if you leave your cup with a straw in it on a table and unattended, she will steal your straw. So if you go back to your drink and your straw is missing, I absolutely guarantee you I know who took it. Glass Bottle says, "I never had the COVID stuff." No, me neither.
Me neither.
Well, there's always a possibility. I've heard of people who got sick from COVID, but it was minor. It was very minimal to the point where they were discomforted for a few days and they were okay after that, and
That's the vast majority, are either no symptoms,
or
nothing,
very minor
or
symptoms.
very minor. That's the vast majority of people.
Jim says, "Look out for those scam calls. They use someone to, really numbers to call it. They use someone real numbers to call you." Yeah, I got one. Actually, I think it was a short. I think I already put it up where it came up somebody's barber shop. And I'm like, when they say I'm calling from Medicare or funeral expense service and it's coming up as a barber shop, that they're scamming, they're spoofing somebody's numbers. And honestly, I think that is part of the scam script that is despicable, because a lot of people get upset with the number that called them and think that that number is them calling, and it's not. They're using that number. And one of the girls I work with, most people, when they get a call from a scammer and they see a number, they'll block it, or but that is not going to help, because they're going to use somebody else's number next time. It doesn't help blocking those numbers. She would do bad things to that number, and I'm like, that's not the person who called you. That's not. She'd register that telephone number at a dating site or something like that. I'm like, that's not who called you. You got to realize that. People don't realize that. But well. Darlene says, "I like the number with the caller ID possible fraud." I used to ask them about that when they would call. I said, "Hey, why does my phone say this number is a scam likely?" And they're like, "Oh, well, that happens from time to time." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you're full of crap,
Yep.
Glass Bottle says, "Yes, true. Scammers use a phone number to call me. Laugh out loud." Yep. Glenn says, saw the one barbershop. Okay, I did make it into a video. Okay. I sing with a barbershop chorus. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Sarah says, "Good night, all." Okay. On that,
Good night.
on Sarah's note, we're wrapping up.
Oh, perfect.
Plus, it's already been over an hour.
Yeah.
I have inventory I have to work on. I have to update my work, the store computer, because I screwed up and forgot to bring my inventory file with me. And I got 2 new boxes of graded comics sitting back there. That are they're right there, just waiting for me to open them up and explore the goodness of my eBay purchases. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Everybody be safe out there. If you've got a hurricane coming or anything like that, please be safe. Supposedly there's one out there. We usually don't start paying attention till it's like a day or two away. That's when we start paying attention. So I'll do that sooner or later. But everybody out there, be good. And remember, if you get calls like the ones I get, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. And if you do screw with them, record it. Share it with us.
Yes, screw and share. Screw and share.
Good night, everybody. Have a good night. We'll